What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Jeff Jorgensen. If it's your first time tuning in at this channel, we discuss things, dissect things such as personal fitness, personal development, and just overall motivation, and have a fun time doing it. Today, we are going to break into my ditch bag and what's inside and what I use it for, and we're going to do that right now. Obviously, for those of you who've been watching a lot of my videos, or if you haven't, I do aviation search and rescue here on Guam. I've been doing this for the U.S. Navy as an aviation rescue swimmer for about 12 years. And every time I go fly, I fly with this bag. This, I mean, it doesn't have to be too fancy. If you're doing search and rescue, or depending on what you're doing, you might need some of this stuff. You might not need some of this stuff. But if you notice, first thing on this bag are carabiners. You can never get enough carabiners. Let's take one of these guys off now. Carabiners can be used for multiple assortment of things, especially in the aircraft as I'm flying around. I can attach IV bags up to the ceiling. I can attach gear, because the worst thing you want to do when you're in a crash or in something, you don't want stuff to be flying around, especially when you got doors open and you're going like 100, 120 knots into the wind. All of that, just aircraft speed and just the wind is just blowing stuff around. These are a freaking lifesaver. You can attach everything from checklists to your bag itself. Very useful. Can't get enough of them. Always use these. Let's open up this front pocket. So in this front pocket, good old pre-flight gloves. These are what I do not fly in. These are mechanics. They're just tan gloves. All these things will be in the description down below if you want to get them yourself. But these gloves are mechanics gloves. They're tan, they're lightweight. They basically breathe really easily, but they protect my hands when I'm pre-flighting the aircraft, so that if I ever have to like touch something that's oily or anything like that, I can easily just wash these. Think of them like gardening gloves. That's all they are. But there's stuff on the aircraft that contain things such as copper beryllium that can be toxic if you ingest it. So I wear these when I pre-flight the aircraft to make sure that when I'm about to go fly, I'm not going to crash. I have, more gloves. Shooting gloves. All right, notice that these have the thumb and the index finger and the middle finger are basically off of them. And this allows for these fingers for dexterity, because when you're actually shooting or working with your hands, these, you got a spade grip right here. It's not like this, your normal, basically crew serve weapon. When you're shooting a crew serve weapon, using your thumbs. And these can be used to adjust, or to actually use the islet or the laser that you have on there. Also, when you actually have gloves on and you're trying to do something in the aircraft, especially at night, flying on goggles, or you're doing anything in general, these are really useful flight gloves. So these are by Wiley X. These are very nice gloves. Not cheap though. All right, next thing we have, this is a helmet. Basically a helmet liner, kind of. It's not a helmet, just or a little pad. So this guy, you might have seen him way back in the day. Ooh, look at that fanciness. So this is basically if you're wearing someone else's helmet or your helmet, you don't want to get your helmet all freaking sweaty and nasty and gross. So then this, again, think of like the pre-flight gloves. This is going to, you throw it in the wash, you take it off. Very useful, very useful. All right, let's see what else we got. This is one of my favorites. Cottonelle flushable butt wipes. If you have ever been caught anywhere and you need to throw a deuce down on the ground, toilet paper. You never want to not have toilet paper, and these little puppies, very nice on the booty. Always fly with a pair. All right, going into other stuff, medical stuff. I have an old, I need to update this one, tourniquet. All right, a little time on there with a windlass, this plastic windlass. Me personally, I like metal windlasses. These plastic ones are known to break. So I will always fly with a tourniquet in my bag. Worst case scenario, it's right by me. If I ever have to ditch, I will have that tourniquet with me in case I can't grab the med bag with me. All right, next item. medical shears. These are great for cutting off clothing. They can pretty much cut through zippers. They can do all kinds of stuff. Very useful, obviously, especially in medical situation. You're doing medevac. Very useful. All right, that goes with that pocket. Oh, I almost forgot. Little flashlight. Boop, 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 boop. So this guy, actually, you can see you have a pupil gauge on the side. So if you have dissimilar pupils, if you're testing a subject or a survivor with their eyes to see if you're getting equal dilation and they're reactive to light, this little guy is perfect for that. Moving on. Let's see what's in this top zipper. Island SAR patch. Forgot to take it out. All right, I have two different types of hearing protection. I have standard Soundguard hearing protection that I keep just in case that I need it. In case, and these are just regular rolled foamies. There's actually a company out there that bought the mats. So they print these guys out, or they don't print, but they make them in these very, very large, thin mats. And they basically punch all these little holes out for these guys. And someone has a company out there, I'm pretty sure, named Moon Mats. I don't know if they changed the name, but this is years ago. They're like awesome yoga mats. And they just buy those mats that they rip these things out of, and they're super soft and squishy, and you can pretty much sleep on those mats. But these are great hearing protection. They're super cheap though. But going into the next thing, these are CEPs, so these are custom molded to my ear. Actually, if you look close, let's see, you might be able to see my name. Nah, but you can tell I kind of picked a girly color because one, I want, not only does it have my name on it, but I wanted to know that they were mine because no one else would pick pink, and I think that's orange for the color of their CEP. So these are custom molded to my ear. You just give them a quick lick, throw them in, whoop, and they fit pretty snug in. But what's great about these is this connects to my helmet, which allows me to have double hearing protection. So I have the speakers that go around in my helmet, and then I have these on. You can tell one side's a little longer than the other. So when I throw these in, this connects to the back of the helmet on the outside. And now I have double hearing protection. All right, moving on. Let's zip that up. Zip that up. Next pocket. Super great read. Pocket checklist. Anything you do in the aircraft, whether it be an emergency, you want to know something quick, reference this. Everyone who flies in the Navy will fly with one of these. Everything from gun emergencies to what's going on with your engines to transmission. If you're getting this on your warning display console, it'll tell you. Because I'm getting old, I fly with an ankle wrap just in case it starts flaring up or I need to use it if I have to get out and run or set up or I need to carry heavy stuff. Hook blade knife. These are awesome. Cut string very easily. Do I have my 550? I'm not going to do it on my mouse. That would be really, really bad. But these are great. Stick your two fingers in there. Cut cord, shroud line, any type of thing that you want to destroy very quickly and cut clean. It's got two blades that interlock on the inside of this knife. It works great. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. This, actually, I think this is my favorite. I've used it the most. Gerber. This was actually a present to me. I had an old Gerber, but this one right here, you can nibble. Almost dropped it. This guy, oh my gosh, so useful. You got pliers, you have a freaking little saw knife, you have a flat knife, you got a Phillips head screwdriver, you got a flathead screwdriver. There's all types of little freaking goodies in this little contraption, and it folds up nice and tight. I've had rivets in the aircraft right before, like we're flying and we got to shut down somewhere because we had a bunch of them come off. Right here, put them right back in. Had a door that couldn't open. I was able to open it with this because I was able to get in there, and there was a little piece that was getting it stuck, so you couldn't open it. So I was able to open it with that. All right, last pocket. This is the big guy. So this I have my combat shirt. So this is what I fly with here normally. If you can't tell, it's a nice little form fitting, so your vest goes over it. It's got elbow pads in it. It's got storage pockets on the right and left. This guy's awesome for hot weather flying. And then I have knee pads. These are old ACU Army knee pads that I got that someone was throwing away, and I've used them ever since. They're great. They get the job done. I can throw them on and off, and I've got tons of use out of them, as you can tell. And then in here I have a Maggers protractor. So this guy right here, you can see it's see-through. So I'll fly with a map of the area if I'm depending on where I am, so that if I need to plot anything, and a lot of people don't fly with this. I fly with this because I've taken pretty good extensive land navigation courses. One of them was actually through the Border Patrol, which offers one of the best land nav courses ever. Like, everyone pretty much goes to them. But this basically, you can block out squares, you can do all kinds of stuff on a map with this, draw lines, plan routes, see how far away something is, do reverse azimuth, so if you get lost, that's what that's for. All of this stuff is used for multiple different purposes, and not everyone flies with the same stuff. You got to really find what works for you, and what someone uses in search and rescue on the ground is definitely different than what they take up in the air with them. If you guys have any other questions, I want to hear from you down below. Also, let me know what you would take with you if you had the same bag as me. What would you add in? Without further ado, catch you guys next time.